Let's read K-pop fanfic. Holiday Countdown, Week 2. 12 Days of Miracles in December. An EXO fanfiction by Blueboicegirl. Narrated by Ren Baek. Happy holidays, and as always, I hope you enjoy. Story 2. Jongin. That's the spot. Keep going, you moaned. Jongin blushed profusely as he massaged your shoulders. You had asked him to ease out your tense muscles, and he had complied, though because he was new to your household, he hadn't realized that you would react this way. All the other maids who were cleaning the living room, where you now sat, were tittering away at the embarrassment painted clearly on Jongin's cheeks. He continued to massage your shoulders, albeit a little quicker than before, but you only sighed more loudly. Jongin couldn't stand it any longer and decided to speak up. Miss? He stopped moving his hands, and you looked up languidly. What? You asked, sighing a little. Jongin folded his hands behind his back, if only to hide his shaking, fidgeting fingers. My lady, would you so care as to continue this in your room? You would be far more comfortable there than in here, he said, bowing his head a little to show respect. I guess. You shrugged and held out a hand for him to take. Jongin took your hand and helped you to stand up from the recliner, then proceeded to lead you up the stairs to your private quarters, meaning your own section of the large mansion that you lived in with various other members of your family. Jongin had only recently been hired, among others, for the household, and you had quickly taken a liking to him, requesting for him to be your own personal butler. Your father and mother had been a little skeptical about his abilities, but relented to your pleadings as you were a daughter of one of the most respected nobles among nobles. Jongin had been delighted, but obviously didn't say anything, as he had to act accordingly to match the lady he served. All of your friends gushed over the fact that you now had your own butler, and respected and envied you more than before. Not that you already aren't. As your personal butler, Jongin accompanied you basically everywhere you went, except, of course, to the bathroom. That would just be violating a lady's privacy, after all. Normally, young ladies like yourself had a maid, but you found every one of them a bore, instead of as companions or friends in the mansion. All they did was clean, help you in and out of clothes, brought food, clean, and clean once again. No. You wanted someone to talk to, not some working robot. Jongin, on the other hand, could do all of those things and be your friend, even if he was a little shy. Now, as he held your hand, leading you up the stairs, you peeked a glance over at him. You could see his concentrated expression on guiding you up the stairs so that you didn't fall over wearing your heels, and mentally blushed at how well Jongin treated you. But then again, it could just be that it's his duty. You sighed and reached the door of your room. Jongin turned the handle and held it open for you, with a bow before following you inside. You sat down and gestured for him to come over and sit as well. He complied, though reluctantly, but you could see that he relaxed as soon as he sat down. You leaned back, placing an arm over your forehead, and said, "How are the preparations for the Christmas ball?" The decorations for the hall and the catering menus are completed. The staffs are currently setting up tables and chairs for the sit-down dinner and preparing the stage for the Christmas pantomimes, he informed you. You know you don't have to speak so stiffly. We are of similar age, you know. And besides, it's all right, since we're behind closed doors. Not like someone is gonna suddenly bust in here, you said with an impish grin. Jongin rolled his eyes and did as you said, sitting more comfortably and crossed his legs. I guess, though I'm just 1.5 years older than you, he mumbled. You chuckled and patted the seat next to you. Come sit with me. As you say, he answered. You heard him stand up, then the seat beside you dipped under his weight as he sat down, making you slide a little over to him. You caught yourself just in time from falling into him, the apples of your cheeks pinkening. He smiled down at you, brushing a finger over your cheeks, and whispered, "It's very becoming of you, miss." You sat up hastily, the blush still evident, and pretended to fix your skirt. Thanks, you said quietly, and Jongin snickered behind his hand at your very cute expression. Trying to change the topic and trying to avoid any further embarrassment, you turned to him and asked, "So, is my dress ready for tomorrow then?" Jongin nodded. "Do you want to see it and try it on?" "Oh, yes, please," you said eagerly, and he stood up, striding over to your walk-in closet. He disappeared inside for a brief moment before coming back out with the garment bag. You jumped up and hurried to him when he waved you over. You went with him inside the closet and sat on one of the seats inside. Show me! Show me!" You clapped in excitement. He unzipped the bag, letting it fall to the ground to reveal the most stunning dress you had ever seen. It was a beautiful ice blue gown, the silky fabric falling to the ground like water and reflecting specks of light from the silver sequins. The neckline was modest, a V-neck trimmed with white lace, and the base of the dress flared out. On closer inspection, the sequins were shaped like snowflakes. You giggled a little as you picked up the fabric, letting it slide over your hands and watching the light play off the sequins. "It's beautiful," you breathed, holding it up to your body as you stood in front of one of the many mirrors. "You can try it on, you know," he prompted, and you hurried to the change room inside the closet. You slipped the dress on, feeling the smooth fabric slide easily onto your body. The fabric hugged your bust and your waist, showing off the womanly curves you never knew you had. You giggled happily and came out, twirling the dress to show Jongin. "How do I look?" you asked, a smile almost cracking your face in half. Jongin nodded and came up behind you. He draped a white fur shawl over your shoulders and placed a silver tiara on your head, completing the ensemble. The tiara sparkled with small crystals, and you laughed. "I look kind of like the Ice Queen." "Well, at least you're happier than the Ice Queen," he smiled. "And much more beautiful," he added quietly. What was that?" You turned to face him, watching the blush that bloomed on his cheeks as he looked away and coughed lightly. Don't worry, you should take it off now, so as to, not wrinkle it," he muttered, and you obeyed. The sound of piano floated through the air to your room as Jongin helped you get ready for the ball. Streams of laughter was also heard, and you jiggled your leg impatiently, only to be told off by Jongin. "Shh, I'm trying to do your hair." When you didn't stop, he placed a hand on your knee. You were a little shocked and stopped moving, allowing him to finish. With a few more quick movements, he had also applied your makeup, a subtle peach pink blush, light pink lip gloss, and a few coats of mascara, and you were ready to appear before the common crowd. You smiled into the mirror and stood up, ready to wow everyone with your beauty. "Thanks for doing this," you beamed at him, and he blinked, feeling a little bit blinded by your radiance. "I should see if my escort is here now," you added, and stepped toward your door. Jongin watched you stand at the door, peeking through the gap, and took this chance to change into his alternate persona. You pouted, seeing nobody at your door, and turned around to see if Jongin was still there. Your room looked empty, and you frowned, when a voice behind you made you turn back quickly. "Milady, may I take the pleasure to escort you to the ball?" A male voice addressed you. "Oh," you gasped, opening the door slowly to reveal a handsome, from what you could see, young man wearing a glittering red and green mask and a hand held out for yours. You took it hesitantly, since your mother had told you that you were going to be escorted by someone she chose, and you didn't know them, but it didn't really matter much. "I am Kai, your escort for today," he introduced with a smile, and you couldn't help but smile back. Throughout the ball, people came by to introduce themselves to you, or to comment on how wonderful the ball was. You repressed a yawn, not wanting to show how bored you were, and looked around. Ugh. And your escort, Kai, had gone off to get some drinks for you, and you had no idea where he had gone. Or Jongin either, for that matter. You shrugged and leaned back, your gaze wandering over to the people. A while later, Kai came back with 2 champagne glasses of punch, and you sipped it gratefully. When you were done, He beckoned you to stand up before taking your hand and pulling you after him. Where are we going? You asked. He didn't reply. He had brought you outside onto the balcony, letting go of your hand and standing by the balustrade. You pouted, shivering a little, and looked up at the star-speckled night sky. What did he bring me out here for? You thought. Kai turned around and stepped towards you. Do you know who I am? He asked suddenly. You shook your head, but his voice sounded familiar. Kai took one of your hands in his and pulled you closer to him. Take off my mask, he said, his voice dropping lower. You lifted your other hand. It was shaking for some reason, and slowly pulled off the glittering mask. It was Jongin, your personal butler. What the? He stopped you from speaking with a chaste kiss, pulling away with a smile. Jongin pointed upwards and you looked. A sprig of mistletoe was pinned to the doorframe above you, and you groaned internally. You rolled your eyes at him. Merry Christmas, miss. Or should I say, fiancé? He laughed. I hope you enjoyed week 2 of our Let's Read K-Pop Fanfic Holiday Countdown. What would you love to do with your bias for the holidays? Make sure you like this video and subscribe. The second story of the week will be Christmas with Baekhyun. Happy holidays, and I'll see you next time.